Hey guys, welcome back to Explain Games. So last time I spoke about 5 things F1 2020 got right, so I'll leave the link for that down in the description below if you want to check that out. But today I'll be talking about 5 things F1 2020 got wrong, because although I absolutely love playing this game as I mentioned in the last video, there's some serious issues I have with it, or issues that were fixed but have tainted the experience for many other players. But first, if you guys haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And once again, a big thanks to all my fantastic subscribers and to everyone who watches these videos. You're all amazing. With that said, let's get into it. So the first thing I think F1 2020 got wrong is something I might get a bit of criticism for, but bear with me for a second because I think it's quite important, because that is the repetition. And I know what you may be thinking, well obviously it's a yearly release, or obviously it's an F1 game, how much can they do with it? And I completely get that there's only so much they can cram into these games, but my god do these games get extremely repetitive. I'm usually happy doing a race or two, sometimes I'll do much more than that, but other times due to the lack of variety in gameplay, I just can't be bothered to finish just the one. And I completely understand that they can't just cram things into an annual sports game like this, because they don't have enough time, and of course they're limited because they need to keep it as similar to the sport in question. That being said though, I think the interviews are a really nice touch, and I think it's something they should really expand upon in the next game, giving us more of a feel of what it's like to be an F1 driver. I think F1 2017 tested the waters really well, with giving us the ins and outs of what it's like to be a driver outside racing, and I just think it's something they should expand upon a bit more. So the next thing up on this list is the visuals. Now I'm not saying they're awful, they're not, but I have a bit of an issue with the lack of improvement. Comparing it to F1 2013, another fantastic F1 game in my opinion, the visuals haven't really improved much, and in one of two places have got worse, and that's a problem. Although that being said, I do think that overall slightly better, but compared to F1 2019, there really isn't that much of an improvement, with some players claiming that F1 2019 looks better. I think Codemasters should use a more graphically capable engine, like Unreal, because with that they could render much better lighting and reflections, which in a game like this, in like rainy weather for example, is quite important. I think some of the models of the car mechanics need to be improved, because they just don't look too good, the faces look a bit weird. I honestly wouldn't mind too much if Codemasters just didn't release an F1 game for a whole year, and you spend the extra year ironing out these problems, and just improve the game overall, and this applies to the graphics as well. So the third thing on this list is the bugs, glitches, and occasional frame rate issues, because at launch these were a real issue. Luckily, most of these issues have been ironed out now, or eradicated through patches and updates, but there's still a few issues that remain. I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, but when you go into customization, in particular in create your own team mode, there seems to be some frame rate drops, and I'm not too sure why. And during interviews, my PS4 sounds like a jet engine about to explode, and I really don't know why. There have been issues that have been fixed, as I mentioned earlier, like not being able to complete races because the game just glitches out completely, or losing save files because they're corrupt. I really think Codemasters need to fix these issues before releasing a full price game, like 60 quid for example. That being said, I'm happy they fixed most of these issues over time, but they really should be releasing these full games for full prices, and then expecting the fans to report and fix these problems. That's just not how a game should be released. When people pay full price, we expect a full, finished, fully polished product, and that's unfortunately something they didn't do, but I'm happy that they've eradicated these issues and it's pretty much completely playable now. So the fourth thing on this list is something that sort of links the last 2 points together, and that is the lack of improvement from F1 2019 in general. Of course, we talked about the lack of graphical improvement in F1 2020, and not fixing issues shared with F1 2019, but overall there really isn't much to distinguish itself from the previous title in the franchise. Game modes haven't really changed much, and not many improvements have been made to the driving or AI, but I suppose the driving is near perfect anyway, but there just isn't really that much difference between this game and the previous one in the franchise, which is a huge shame and a bit of an issue for me. That being said, they have made some minor adjustments to the AI, making them a bit more accident prone to make them slightly more realistic, as Codemasters would say, but I still think AI is something that needs a major improvement in these games, because I just don't think they're smart enough, but at the same time they're not accident prone enough as well. I just think they're not intelligent enough, and I just don't think they think like a human would driving an F1 car as well as I think they could do. But overall, I think a great distinction between these games would have been nicer, and I think it's something Codemasters should think to improve upon with their next F1 game. So the fifth and final point in this list is not necessarily something this game did wrong, but more something it could have done better and should be improved for next year, and that is create your own team. And I know, I said it's something the game did really well. In fact, I think it's one of the best things about this game, but I think there's so much more that they could flesh out the experience with. I know we get to choose the engine supply and all that, and we get to upgrade our car, but it would be really, really cool if we could design our own car. Like, even if it's just from presets, it'd be so cool to change front wings, rear wings, the general, appearance of the car. That would be so cool. It would be really cool to change the physical appearance of the car, rather than just the livery. Another thing I think would be really cool and to put some emphasis on is the actual managerial side of things, because recent FIFA games allow you to physically talk through contracts with players, and I think it'd be really cool if they could apply a similar mechanic here. That's just my opinion. I just think it'd be really cool to have that more manager aspect to the team, considering you're the owner and the driver. I think more managerial aspects and perspectives, I think was one of a better word to use. I think that would be really nice to see in this game. So they were my picks of 5 things F1 2020 got wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'll of course be doing more right and wrong videos, with Watch Dogs, the first one, being the next game I'm reviewing, and then Minecraft after that, as I had that suggested to me. And I know I said I would do that next, but I've rearranged my schedule, so I'll be doing the first Watch Dogs as I say. I was debating whether to do Minecraft or GTA 5 first, so let me know what you think down in the comments below what I should do next. But if you guys want to see me do a right and wrong on any games in particular, then please let me know. And as I said in some of my other videos, I'm a huge fan of Batman, so if I reach 25 subscribers, I'll definitely do a right and wrong on Batman Arkham Asylum. And we're so close to 25, we're at 22 at the moment, so if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. That would be greatly appreciated and would really help this channel out a lot. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.